The 2024 G7 Summit and the weekly Earth Sabbath proposal could present a unique opportunity to address pressing global challenges and foster international cooperation.
Okay, according to Advent Messenger, it is said here in this article, Earth Sabbath claims that it is time to heed the Pope's call and put into action a weekly Earth Sabbath. Now, this article was posted here. We're talking about from The Independent, to be exact. And what is going on here? There are a number of reasons why this call is being made. Particularly, one is to address the issue of climate change, and nothing new under the sun. Let me begin by reading another quotation for you, and then I'm going to share a few more thoughts. Number one, we know what it says. The Sabbath will be the great test of loyalty, for it is the point of which especially controverted. When the final test shall be brought upon to bear upon men, then the line of distinction will be drawn between those who serve God and those who serve him not. So now, here are a few more things I want to share with you. These are some of the main points highlighted in the video that we're going to watch right now. And what is being said is that Pope Francis has been a powerful voice calling for immediate action. Perhaps the action needed is a weekly Earth Sabbath. Listen, friends, this stuff is no longer hidden anymore. It's no longer behind the scene anymore. The issue for the call for a Sunday rest is becoming more and more prevalent as we draw closer to the end times. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. Now, the second thing that is said here in the article by Advent Messenger, and I'm going to link this in the description below so you can read the entire thing. The concept of weekly Earth Sabbath was introduced in the encyclical Laudato Si. We're going to look about that. The Pope has met with world leaders urging binding what? Climate targets. The Pope has called for perhaps, there you go again with the phrase, a phase out of coal, oil, and gas. At the Union Climate Change Conference, the Pope urged decisive action. Pope Francis urged world leaders to end division and unite. The time for action is now. We need to heed the Pope's call. It's time for everyone to put into action the keeping of what? Of a weekly Earth Sabbath. Friends, here we are today. You are seeing emerging of both church and state in the name of solving social problem, societal issues that supposedly we can no longer overlook, right? And this is what we are being told. Now, let me share a few. We have some videos here I'm going to share with you. Let me bring this to your screen right now. So, what we are about to see in this video, and I had to fast forward into 1 minute because this is when it gets really interested. And this is coming from G7 Summit 2024. And there, exactly as you saw in the article posted by Advent Messenger, is that there is a call for a weekly Sabbath Sunday, which really they call Sabbath, day of rest in the name of saving the planet. Take a listen.
Should be the introduction of a weekly Earth Sabbath to combat climate change and promote environmental stewardship. The weekly Earth Sabbath aims to establish a global day of rest and reflection on environmental sustainability, raising awareness and inspiring collective action. By championing the weekly Earth Sabbath, Italy would position itself as a leader in international diplomacy and environmental sustainability on the global stage. The 2024 G7 Summit and the weekly Earth Sabbath proposal could present a unique opportunity to address pressing global challenges and foster international cooperation. We need protesters in Italy to act now as a voice for a weekly Earth Sabbath. By bringing together world leaders and engaging the global community, this summit has the power to drive meaningful change and shape a sustainable future. The 2024 G7 Summit in Italy represents a pivotal moment in our collective journey towards a better tomorrow for generations to come. Visit www.earthsabbath.world.
Okay, friends. Have you noticed what I'm noticing as well behind the climate change, the motion, the call for Sunday keeping Sabbath, as it is referred to, is the loudest. This is where it is being promulgated. This is where the sound that is sounding the alarm. So here in this video, we're gonna hear it again, and I'm gonna kind of react with this one. So this is Pope Francis' urgent call for climate action. Right behind that is exactly they're promoting the same idea that was highlighted in the article. So let's take a listen here.
The world is facing an unprecedented climate crisis. Pope Francis has been a powerful voice calling for immediate action. Perhaps the action needed is a weekly Earth Sabbath. The concept of a weekly Earth Sabbath was introduced in his encyclical Laudato Si. The Pope has met with world leaders, urging binding climate targets. Pope Francis has called for a phase-out of coal, oil, and gas. At the UN Climate Change Conference, the Pope urged decisive action. Pope Francis urged world leaders to end divisions and unite. The time for action is now. We must heed the Pope's call. It's time for everyone to put into action the keeping of a weekly Earth Sabbath. We must support the weekly Earth Sabbath global movement and take individual responsibility. Together, we can create a sustainable future for generations to come. Let us be the change we wish to see in the world. Unite with us in the fight against climate change. Visit www.earthsabbath.world.
I'm not sure about you. This is abundantly clear now. There's no more cover up. This is no longer like, hey man, you Seventh-day Adventists all been talking about that. There's going to be a call for a keeping of Sunday. You know, there's going to be a movement that's going to swell into a massive international movement where we're going to be called to worship on Sunday. You guys said you Seventh-day Adventists are ridiculous. This is not going to happen. Well, it's certainly the volume is being turned up if you're paying attention. So they're not hiding this stuff anymore. Now they're telling you, like, listen, we need a weekly day of rest, period. We just need a day of rest for the earth, right? We need to give a Sabbath rest to the earth in the name of saving the planet. But again, will that solve the problem? No, I don't think it would, because there's a much bigger problem. We have a problem of sin. It's bigger than just trash and plastics and so on and gas emission. We have a sinful problem. We have law-abiding, we have sinful individuals breaking God's law. And the Bible tells us that because of the hardy people that are on the earth, these are the results why the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. This is what's really going on here. Let me share a few verses with you. The Bible says, we are told in Isaiah chapter 24, verse 4, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The hardy people, listen to this, of the earth do languisheth. Why is the earth, why is it faded away? Why is the earth not obeying supposedly the voice of man, right? No matter what we are trying to do. It tells you in the next verse, the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. So in essence, the more there is a life of disobedience being promoted on the earth, it doesn't matter who's promoting it. If the churches are saying it doesn't matter how we live our lives, if the gospel is not being preached in the way that it's supposed to be preached, especially a lawless gospel, right? They promote grace, but they demote the law. If they are telling people, oh, disobedience, obedience to the law of God is no longer significant. Men can have babies. Two men can get married. Doesn't matter how you live your life. You can violate, you can have abortion, you can do all these things. If you are promoting that which is disobedience to God's law, the earth, we are told in this text, the earth is defiled. And if the earth is defiled because of the behavior of what the Bible refers to as the haughty people that do languisheth, as a result, the earth languisheth, it fades away. So what's happening here? The world is responding in a very negative life because of disobedient behaviors from people that are on the earth. That's what we are told. And we are told also, secondly, in the book of Romans chapter 8, that there is another problem that also needs to be acknowledged. In Romans chapter 8, we are told in verse 19, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of God, for the creatures were made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. Why? Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. And what we are being told, literally, we are stewards of the earth. The earth is responding, in a sense. You can say nature is responding to the behaviors of man. It is subjective to the behaviors of man. So if man is misbehaving, rather than just trying to stop all these different things, yes, you can make hedgeway and fix part of the problem, but you're not going to fix the actual problem, because Satan knows this and he's playing games with the minds of man. So in the name of supposedly saving the planet, we need a day of rest, and this is going to lead us exactly to where the enemy will have us to go. Let me show you something now. Hey, question for you. Which day is the Sabbath? The Catholics answers, Saturday is the Sabbath. Question for you. Why do you observe Sunday instead of Saturday? Listen very carefully to what they say next. It says we observe Sunday instead of Saturday. Why? Because the Catholic Church says, under the council of what? In the council of Laodicea, 83:36, transferred the solemnity from Saturday to Sunday. Oh, just in case you didn't understand what I'm trying to say, I'm going to let them tell you yourself. This is what they're saying. It is said, of course, the Catholic Church claims that the change was her act, referring to the transference of the Sabbath observance into Sunday. We are told, and that the act is a mark of her ecclesiastical authority in religious matters. Next, Sunday is our mark of authority. The church is above the Bible, and the transference of the Sabbath observance is proof of that fact. So if you also notice another thing that is going on here in the name of trying to save the planet, Satan is looking to bring about a national Sunday law, and this will go exactly to fulfilling the component found in Revelation 13, the mark of the beast. So here is another thing I want to share with you. Behind the scene, there is a component of fear. We are told in verse 12. Look what the Bible says in Isaiah. It says, say not a confederacy to all them that to whom this people shall say, a confederacy, neither fee ye their fear. So there is a confederacy, a coming together, a movement that is working behind the scene. What is this movement all about? We are told this movement is motivated by fear. Fear is at the heart of this issue. But God tells us, be careful, do not serve in fear. Don't let fear become the motivation factor to bring about laws that's going to lead to disobeying God. We are told, sanctify the Lord of hosts himself. Let him be your fear. Let him be your dread. Do you notice behind this movement called climate change, there is fear. The component of fear is being mentioned here. Everything is in the name of trying to stop the next natural disaster from happening. And this is not to say we shouldn't be part of a movement that is helping to save the world and make the world a better place. I completely understand that. But the motivation by fear is eventually going to manipulate the minds of many and leading them to false worship. And this is why we are told in the book of Luke 21 verse 26, men's hearts failing them for fear, for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So friends, where are we today? Where we are seeing the fulfillment of Bible prophecy right before your eyes. The Sunday movement is now making its way in darkness. And I will say it's coming out of the darkness. It's no longer hidden as it used to be, because they're coming out boldly and telling you, listen, man, this is what we are doing. We want a Sunday rest. We want a weekly Sabbath rest in the name of saving the planet. The leaders are concealing the true issue, and many who unite in the movement do not themselves see whether the undercurrent is tending. They are working in blindness. Much more could be said. I'm going to link the article in the description below, friends. We ought to pray. We ought to pay attention. We ought to keep our eyes on the signs of the times. And once again, my dear friends, Jesus is coming again. Every time I see some of this stuff, I say, let's tighten everything up in the Lord. Let's proclaim the gospel, love our neighbors as ourselves, raise our children to love the Lord, to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ, and let's keep sounding the alarm, because a time is going to come. Those of us who are speaking about this issue now being made fun of, right? A time is going to come. They're going to look back and say, thank you that you did warn me of this. Anyway, friends, share your thought and perspective with me. I want to hear from you. Link in the description below. Like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more if you enjoyed this video. By the way, I got a final announcement to make. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this. I do have a merch. I do have a store. It's been around for a while. I should be promoting this more than but anyway, I got a couple t-shirts going on here. For example, we need Christ for the crisis. I got one about the Sabbath as well. And if there's any t-shirt that you would like for me to work on, let me know. I can put this, I can put it up for you. For example, we have this one here which says, yes, Sunday is not the Sabbath, Saturday is. So you can go to the store. I'm gonna link it in the description so that you can go to where it says buy my t-shirts and so on, and it's gonna take you there, and you can purchase something there. By the way, there's a middleman, of course, and this is why these prices are a little bit high. But again, it's just the way it is for now until I'm able to get my own. And that's gonna be a work in progress. Anyway, much more could be said about that. I want to hear from you. Like and subscribe once again to the page. Click the bell icon for more. Until next time, have a good one.